Welcome back to The Truth is Viral. My name is Bob Powell, and this is going to be an interesting Thanksgiving episode. The last Thanksgiving episode that I brought to you was not a happy one because it was 2 years ago, just a couple of days before Thanksgiving, that my wife was diagnosed with Stage-IV Colo-rectal and Liver cancer.
Well, I'm not going to lie, this is an advanced cancer. It's involving a heck of a lot of that liver. And I will say that it tends not to be something that is readily curable, okay, once it's involving the liver.
Her doctor told her that she probably would not live until Christmas. But my doctor, or her doctor, didn't know my wife. She's a fighter, and she knew that the odds were against her, but nevertheless, she said, "Give me the chemo. I'm not giving up." So instead of dying 6 weeks later, like her doctor said that she probably would, here 2 years later, she's still alive. A few weeks ago, we got the worst news you can get. She's tried every chemo that is available. We've tried the molasses and baking soda protocol, a couple of other natural treatments that people have been suggesting. It's all failed. The PET scan showed that her tumors in her colon and liver have increased in number, size, and metabolic activity. So this is probably going to be my wife's last Thanksgiving. So we're going to make it a good one. I don't talk about my mom nearly as much as I talk about my wife, but she's also got Stage-IV Colorectal and liver cancer. A couple of weeks ago, she fell and crushed her left shoulder. They can't set it. She's 84 years old, and they have to stop her chemo permanently, I guess, because her shoulder will not heal when she's undergoing that chemotherapy. Oh, I forgot to mention the oxaliplatin, the last ditch chemo that my wife was last on, causes neuropathy. And for those that have watched my show for a while, you know that Dylan was disabled with diabetic neuropathy long before she ever got the cancer. It's an insidious and extremely painful disease. She, just from her feet all the way up her legs, her torso, front and back, down both arms, she describes it as being boiled in oil. So she's been, and that's been since the birth of our last son, Adam, 17 years ago almost. So to say that she's suffered is an understatement. She's an incredible woman. She keeps on fighting. But you know, it's depressing. It really is. I'm here with a bunch of caregivers and a cancer support group. I'm kind of introducing myself to them and giving you guys an update at the same time. So kill two birds with one stone, right? But here, just a couple of days before Thanksgiving, we're talking about what we're thankful for. So here's what I'm thankful for. I'm thankful for you guys, number one. sticking by me as we go about our mission of saving lives and winning souls for Christ. It hasn't been easy. It's been really hard, but it's been worth it. I've received letters from 6 people telling me that after watching one of my programs, they got on their knees and got right with God. That is incredible, because I didn't have the courage to share my faith with my own daughter, and as a result, she died unsaved. She had a heart attack when she was just 24 years old. Which is why I tell my viewers all the time, if you've got unfinished business with a family member, if there's friction or, something that's keeping you apart, you've got to settle it. Make sure that you tell the people that you love every single day that you love them, because none of us are guaranteed another breath. You could die tomorrow, they could die tomorrow, and I guarantee you that if somebody that you love dies unsaved because you didn't say anything, you're going to regret it for the rest of your life. So yeah, I'm thankful that you guys help me save more and wake them up. I'm thankful that when I was a child, I had a father that would beat my ass when I did something wrong. And I'm thankful that he's the kind of man that would go in his bedroom, lock the door, and cry that he had to whip his son. I'm thankful that my mother made tremendous sacrifices to make sure that I had the finest private Christian education that money could buy. That served me well over the last 51 years. I am thankful that despite all of the medical problems that my wife and I have had over the last 20 years, that we've been happy. After the first Gulf War, when I was working in Colorado Springs, they were remodeling the bathroom at the place I was working. And some moron kicked over a bucket of toluene diisocyanate, it's a paint thinner, and sent 38 people to the hospital, me included. When I woke up 2 days later, I couldn't speak, I couldn't read, I couldn't write. My career as a journalist was over for all intents and purposes. So 2 years later, stuttering fool that I was, couldn't get a job. I was on the roof of our house, trading work, shingling, for rent. Well, I fell off the roof, broke my back. For the next 3 years, I was in a wheelchair. And over the next 15 years, 8 operations, countless hours of physical therapy, I can walk again. I'm still in constant pain, but at least I'm not in a wheelchair. So I'm thankful for that. I'm thankful that God sent me this woman that stood by a cripple. We'd only been married a couple of years. Only had one child. Statistically, most women would walk away from that. She stuck by me. She took care of me, fed me, bathed me. So now that it's my turn, I don't have a little bit of problem with it, taking care of her. She's got these sores on her feet from her diabetes. And last night I'm doctoring them up. She says, honey, you don't have to do that. I said, well, who else is going to? You can't reach them. Somebody's got to trim these talons. I'm thankful that over the last 28 years, we've raised 5 beautiful children. Got 3 beautiful grandchildren. We've been blessed. It's coming to an end. And barring a miracle, there's nothing I can do about it. But who else can say that they had a great family for 28 years? Not many people. I love my wife more than anything in the world. And I have no idea how I'm supposed to live without her. I'm just going to have to depend on God and your prayers and your support to get me through it. I don't know any other way. Because you know me, I don't quit, ever. I obviously cry a lot. But it gets it off your chest, which is healthy. And it also takes care of something very important as far as the truth is viral is concerned. I've never wanted to be a talking head, right? I want you guys to know who I am, where I come from, what influences my decisions, so that you'll believe what I have to say when I tell you something. I'm not going to sugarcoat anything. If I'm emotional, I'm going to cry or I'll laugh. You know, the truth comes in many forms. And I suppose finally I'm thankful for my friends, Sean, Patrick, David, Brian, Emily, JD. He's dead now, but I love him. He had breast cancer, a man with breast cancer, imagine that. So we talked a lot about that before he died. Becky, Susan, Cindy, my admins at the Truth is Viral, Shaylin, Jimmy. Without these guys to take up the slack while I'm caring for Delyn, the Truth is Viral would be gone. So I'm extremely grateful for them helping out, volunteering their time to continue to bring you the truth each and every day. I'm thankful for all the tens of thousands of people that have been praying for Delyn. And I think that since prayer is the last weapon that we have in our arsenal, I'm going to produce a live show, get some of the most awesome prayer warriors that this country has to offer together. And one after another, we're just going to pray for my wife. Maureen is my personal intercessor at the Truth is Viral. She prays for us all the time. I can't tell you how grateful I am for that. I see some of the most vile things when I search for news. Islamic terrorists crucifying Christians, beheading little girls, gang raping and selling into sexual slavery their mothers. I wonder what these people are missing in their lives that they have to be so cruel. But I don't wonder about it for long, because I know what they're missing. They're missing Jesus Christ. They're following a bloodthirsty God and a bloodthirsty religion. So we're in a battle, folks. And lastly, I'm thankful that I live in a country where I don't have to wake up and worry, am I going to get blown up on my way to church? Or as I go shopping for dinner? I'm thankful that God has blessed this country up to this point. I think maybe He might be withdrawing that blessing. But I was born and raised in a country where I didn't have to worry about being persecuted for my faith. I live in a country where when tragedy strikes, if it's a mass tragedy like an earthquake or a flood or a very personal tragedy like what's happening in my family, people tend to rally around and do the right thing and support their friends and neighbors. And that's absolutely the basis of what Christ taught. I can't remember in what verse it is exactly, but He said that on two commandments hang the whole of the law. Love your neighbor as thyself and love God. Put no other God before him. On those two commandments hang the whole of the law. So when you do something good for another person, you're doing what God wants you to do. We're put on this earth. I believe that our purpose on this earth is to learn how to take care of one another so that in the next life, when we become part of God's family, we'll know how to behave. So this is all a big learning experience. And something I've learned is you feel better inside when you do something for other people than when you do something for yourself.
You know, for us, I think it's probably the most difficult song on the record, but I think it's an important message that needs to be heard, and that's because, you know, life isn't always easy. Sometimes things don't go our way, and I've known many people that have had some real serious trials in their life. And what do you do when that happens? When you say, God, man, can you heal this cancer? Can you heal this sickness? Can you change my financial situation? Can you help me with my relationships? And, you know, many times God does amazing things and He changes our lives, but sometimes the answer is no. And what do you do with that? How do you deal with that? Jeremiah 29 verse 11 says, "For I know the thoughts I think towards you, thoughts of peace and not of evil, to give you a future and a hope, to bring you to a glorious end." You see, the ending result, although it may not come until eternity, the end result will be a wonderful and beautiful story. We may not see what's happening right now, but God is working in an eternal spectrum from a perspective that we may not understand, we may not see. And ultimately, we need to trust and believe that He is a good God, a God that loves us, that He has a plan and a work in mind. If we trust in that, if we trust that we can just surrender ourselves to His hands, man, it's amazing to see the way that God will use our lives, use our tragedies, use our troubles and our struggles to bring amazing and wonderful eternal works to pass. So that's what the song is about. It's called Even If. Sometimes all we have to hold on to is what we know is true of who you are. That could never change who you are, and we trust in who you are. Even if the healing doesn't come and life falls apart, dreams are still undone. You are God, you are good forever. Doesn't come. and life falls apart, and dreams are still undone. You are God, you are God, forever faithful one. Even if the healing, even if the healing doesn't come, you are God, and we will bless you as the good and faithful one. You are God, and we will bless you, even if the healing doesn't come, even if the healing doesn't come.
I suppose I've taken up about enough of everybody's time. Don't forget to follow The Truth is Viral on Facebook. Follow us on Twitter at The Truth is Viral in both spots. Subscribe to the blog at bobpowell.blogspot.com. Stay up to date with all the latest tidbits. I realize that I haven't been producing a whole lot lately, but I'm sure you understand. Been knocked down, but I haven't been knocked out. We will continue to bring you as much of the truth as we can. The devil's been beating me. He's been beating on me. He hasn't beaten me. He's taken away 7 of my family members and close friends from cancer and heart attacks in the last 2 years in an attempt to discourage me, including my wife, my daughter, and my mother. He supposed to be a smart guy. Call him Lucifer, the light bearer. He's supposed to be a genius. This moron can't even figure out that when you back a Marine into a corner, all it does is piss him off. We call in artillery on our own positions if we have to, in order to win the battle. Old Beelzebub bit off more than he could chew when he tore into me. Because I've got Almighty God as my high tower and defender. He's laying down cover and fire for me. And we will not fail. We will bring more people to a knowledge of the salvation that's freely offered by Jesus Christ for the asking. We don't have much time left, though. So we need to get busy. I guess that's it. Thank you for watching The Truth is Viral. My name is Bob Powell. And as always, God bless. Semper Fi. No rah.
Thank you for watching The Truth is Viral with your host, Bobby Powell. Make sure to follow The Apocalypse on Twitter at The Truth is Viral. Like The Truth is Viral on Facebook, and if you can, please remember to donate to the cause via PayPal at www.bobpowell.blogspot.com.
Smack runner, your game is through. Smack runner, I'm talking to you.